The story of the lost sheep. In the gentle hills of ancient Judea, where the afternoon sun painted the landscape in warm golden hues, a shepherd tended his flock of 100 sheep. He knew each one by their unique markings and personalities, the way a parent knows their children. Some had wool that caught the sunlight like spun silver, while others bore subtle shades of cream and brown that blended with the rocky terrain. Every morning, he would lead them from their sheltered fold into the rolling hills where sweet grass grew between the stones. The soft tinkling of bells around their necks created a peaceful melody that drifted on the breeze, mixing with the gentle sounds of their grazing. As practice, I kept watch over them as they moved across the hillsides, ensuring each one found nourishment and remained safe from harm. As the sun began its slow descent toward the horizon one evening, the shepherd began his daily count, a ritual as natural to him as breathing. His staff gently touched each sheep as he counted, a reassuring gesture that connected him to each precious member of his flock. 1, 2, 10, 50, 99. His heart skipped a beat as he realized one was missing. The missing sheep was one he knew well, a younger one with a slight limp from a birth injury. Though others might have considered this sheep less valuable, the shepherd's heart held no such distinctions. Each one was precious to him, and the absence of even one left an empty space in both the flock and his heart. Without hesitation, he made arrangements for the 99 to be secured in a safe place. The remaining sheep huddled together in their protective enclosure, their soft bleating carrying on the evening breeze as the shepherd gathered his staff and began his search. The fading light painted long shadows across the landscape as he retraced the day's path. His experienced eyes scanned the terrain, looking for any sign of his lost sheep. A tuft of wool caught on a thorny bush, a track in soft earth, or any disturbance that might indicate where the young one had strayed. As twilight deepened into dusk, the shepherd pressed on, his feet carrying him over familiar paths and into more treacherous terrain. He knew the dangers that lurked in the gathering darkness, steep drops hidden by shadows, predators beginning their nightly hunt, and the disorienting effects of darkness on a lost and frightened sheep. His calls echoed softly through the valleys, a gentle sound that carried hope and promise of safety. The cool evening air carried the scent of wild herbs and distant rain as he moved carefully through the rugged landscape. Each step was measured, each pause filled with intent, listening for any response from his lost one. In a small ravine, where hardy shrubs clung to rocky slopes, he heard it, a faint bleating that spoke of fear and loneliness. Following the sound, he discovered his lost sheep wedged between two rocks, unable to free itself. The young one had wandered off the path, perhaps distracted by a patch of particularly tempting grass, and had become trapped while trying to find its way back to the flock. The shepherd's heart filled with compassion at the sight of his frightened sheep. With gentle hands and soothing words, he carefully worked to free the animal from its predicament. The sheep's wool was matted with dust and small thorns, its injured leg trembling from exhaustion, but it was alive and would soon be safe. Once freed, the shepherd did not scold or force the sheep to walk back. Instead, with infinite tenderness, he lifted the weary creature onto his shoulders, The weight was considerable, but his joy made it feel light as a feather. The sheep's trembling gradually ceased as it felt the familiar security of its shepherd's presence. The journey back was illuminated by stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky, their light offering gentle guidance along the path home. The shepherd's steps were sure and steady, despite the added burden he carried. His heart was light with the joy of finding what was lost, of being able to restore his flock to completeness. As they approached the fold, the gentle sound of bells and soft bleating welcomed them home. The 99 sheep stirred with quiet recognition as their shepherd returned with their lost companion. The rescued sheep was carefully lowered to rejoin its flock, where it was soon surrounded by the warmth and security of the gathered community. The shepherd's joy at this reunion was profound yet peaceful, like the quiet satisfaction of seeing the first light of dawn after a long night. He tended to the returned sheep with careful attention, cleaning its wool, checking for injuries, and ensuring it had fresh water and food within easy reach. His hands moved with practiced gentleness, each touch a reminder of the constant care that defined his relationship with his flock. This simple story, told across centuries, carries within it deep truths about divine love and care for each soul. Like the shepherd who knew immediately when one was missing from the 100, we are known and noticed, no matter how far we may wander, how lost we may become, or what circumstances may separate us from where we belong. We are worth searching for. As you rest now, let this gentle tale remind you of your own worth. Like that precious sheep, you are never too lost to be found, never too far to be carried home, never too broken to be restored. The shepherd's determination to find one lost sheep speaks to the immeasurable value of each individual life.